Hey there, it's Fatzoid, and I just want to go over this deck. So, this deck is budget friendly. I know, it doesn't look like it, but a lot of these cards you don't really even need. Some of these hand traps, such as Max C or Ash Blossom, honestly, I would 100% keep them, considering everyone should be having hand traps anyway for their accounts. But if you were going to keep a hand trap in the deck, I think Nibiru for this event is absolutely insane and just completely shuts off a lot of the synchro decks that I've been seeing, especially a lot of the loner decks, which a lot of people seem to be using. As for the extra deck, the only ultras you really need in the extra deck is at least one or two Super Shoguns and one Baron de Fleur. Then you don't need the Naturia Beasts. You don't need Power Tool Dragon. You don't need Crystal Wing. They're enhancements, so if you have the card already, I would put him in. But you could run three, or just even two of each is completely fine, because most of the times the game's going to end before then. The deck is very consistent with Infinity Track and Karakuri Kamachi being our main starters to get the ball rolling. Now, ideal hand that you'd want to do, ideal start, would be summoning Infinity Track, using that to summon Karakuri Kamachi, and then using that to summon Karakuri Merchant, and Merchant will allow us to get a spell or any Karakuri card from our deck. So you can look up for an Interrupt, you can look up for an Oil to set up to really go off, or you could be looking in for the Cache if you already have an Autonomy on the board and you want to get the draw effect from it. There's a lot of options you can do if you have that hand, and getting that hand isn't too rare. I would say at least 40% of my games with all three of those cards in hand, which is a pretty good odds. But the whole purpose of me making this was to make a relatively cheap deck that was different from all the other decks you might be seeing right now. And the most important thing is the deck is good, and it's also very fun to play. And I think it's a good choice, and I highly recommend it. I don't really think you could go too wrong with this deck. The other decks I want to talk about are the loner decks. As you've seen in the video, the loner decks are fucking cracked, my guy. I didn't even realize it was a loner deck until seeing around 1 to 2 kind of like odd cards. Like if I was looking at this list right now, this is kind of a weird card. This is a Satellite Synchron, kind of a weird card. But dude, look at this deck. You got Jet Synchron, that's an ultra rare. You got Jet Synchron, that's a super rare. You got 2 Effect Veilers, both ultra rare. Those are ultra rares. You have the entire Junk Synchron, Stardust Synchron. I kind of wish they bumped this up to 3 at least. But they give you Foolish Burial, another ultra rare. You get Harpy's Feather Duster. Like all these ultras they give you. It's so crazy. And the deck is actually good. Is there a better combos they could be doing with this? Yeah, they could probably remove this, bump the Synchro Overtake up to 3, and this is garbage. But for the most part, this deck is really freaking good. You got a lot of the cards that you need to go off. The main card you just need to go into is Junk Speeder. Then Junk Speeder can go into everything else, You don't have the Chaos Dragon, like I had in the video I did yesterday. But you have Stardust Dragon. You could use that to go into the Shooting Majestic Star Dragon. This deck has a lot of promise. And on my main account, since I don't really have any synchros, I'm going to be playing it. If you want to save yourself some cheddar, you can't really get better. That was bad. But even look, the Speedroid, these decks are crack. I'm not even kidding. They're actually decent. They are not bad to play. I just wanted to make sure you guys knew, because I feel like a lot of people, they wouldn't give the loner decks a chance. And at the end of the day, this is a festival that's only going to last a few days. And the main purpose of it is to obviously have fun, but to get your gems so you can build other decks. So I think this, if you have an account that doesn't really have any synchros to begin with, right? And you didn't really want to build anything. Like, these are 100%. You can grind out the points fairly easily, in my opinion. Because at the end, like, it's going to come down to your skill with some of these decks, too. Because a lot of people are playing these decks. I played against more loner decks than I've played against real decks on the ladder. So, please, try it out. Bye.